What's up? What's up? What's up? Hey, listen, Donnie Tuttle here, and I am going to be taking you through writing your first book and getting it done in 2 weeks' time. We're going to leverage AI, specifically Chat GPT, in getting this thing done for you and with you. We are live on YouTube. We're live on Facebook. We are live on LinkedIn, and we're going to get rocking and rolling here in a moment. I've got my honey to invite on. She should be able to go here. You can feel free to ask questions. You can feel free to leave comments. You can do any of those things. What I would do is I would say, let's see. I'm just going to take you into it and through it. We're not actually supposed to start for another 2 minutes, but let me tell you the story of kind of where I started. I, for years, always wanted to write a book. And I, truthfully, I didn't just want to write a book. I wanted to have one on Audible. That was a lifelong dream of mine. Ever since I started listening to Audible, I think a big reason of that is I have just come to love audiobooks. I've come to love the I don't know. I consume probably at least 2 a month via audiobook, sometimes 3, sometimes 4. Always 1 to 2 though every single month, and I just always wanted one. And what I found as I was just engaged with writing was it's easier said than done, right? I would find that I would, I don't know, I guess I would say things and then never do them. I just never really had a true follow-up plan. I would try to write things and there just never was any way to fully execute. And so finally I got serious about this, and I'll give you the steps that I went through, but I decided that I was going to do it first off. And then I reached out to a person, and that person, actually several people, began helping me in the process. I do want to mention one thing before I even jump into this thing. Was a big part of my writing my first book, Sell Anywhere. I don't really know how many words it is. It's a pretty good read. I've gotten good reviews from everyone who's ever read it. It's about a 2.5 hour read, I think, / listen. But once I started, I did the artwork, I did every single word that's in here. But once I got started, it happened. I got it completed in 40 days. I got my first manuscript completed in 40 days. And I'm going to go through how I did that. I'm going to give you every tool that I got that I paid a lot of money for. And we're going to actually, I'm going to take the challenge. I'm going to see if I can even go, I want a little bit more of a boost. And I'm going to see if I can get that from some of these online, just artificial intelligence, Chat GPT is going to be a main one that we're going to leverage. We may use Jasper and other things of that nature. So get ready, buckle up, and let's rock and roll. Now, for anyone who is wondering what this is or what this isn't, let me start off. I'm going to tell you what this is not. Okay. This is not, I am not going to be able to help you to write a New York Times bestselling book. Now you may write it, but this is not going to help you to edit it. It's not going to help you to publish it. This is going to help you to provide a valuable first manuscript, right? To get that book out of you, to get it all on pages, on pages, so that you and other people can begin to work with this. That's what this is for. So, you will, if you want something that is going to put you on someone's New York Times or some bestsellers list or Amazon or whatever, you will want to employ a service or find out and learn about that. What we are doing here is I'm specifically helping people who are looking to write a nonfiction book that helps people that they love. And so let's see, I'm trying to make sure that I have this all started up here on LinkedIn and on all of the other dealios here. Hopefully it's rocking and rolling. It's kind of hard for me to see, honestly. I've got this thing that just multicasts it to everywhere, and I'm not sure. I guess I have to click on post and feed, send a message. I think I have to start it, manage attendees. How do I start it? I guess I should do a little bit of research on some of these things before I just jump into them. So it should be on all of the services. Give me just a couple of seconds here. I know that you didn't join on to see me learning how to, yeah, you can see me in LinkedIn. Cool. There we are. Love it. All right, I'm letting people into this waiting room and into others. And so welcome, welcome, welcome. We're going to go in and let me actually, I'm going to make sure that we are not showing people in the waiting room. I just let someone in the waiting room. I do not want to see those people. And so apologies as we go through these things. All right, let's jump into the tools and kind of what's going on here. Hey, Timmy Ostrom, glad to have you with us. And I don't know if people can see you on the main thing, but if they can, I might ask you to maybe mute your camera. So that way we're not distracted by your beautiful looks. But what we're going to be doing here, guys, I'm going to go through the tools that are going to help you to get your book out of you. Then the very first thing that I want to do is I want to ask you, why is it that you want to write your book? And there are a lot of reasons that we want to write books. Like a lot of us, it makes us feel important. Maybe I'm a somebody. Some of us who are in business, we're like, this would be a great business card. A lot of us feel like we have a message to share. And so today we're going to talk about with whom are you sharing it? Really ramping in and getting that identity of your ideal target audience. We are going to begin to structure something that is going to make sense to them. And we're going to find a way for you to run free and clear in this thing. So my two questions of the day. Now, if you are not a part of the Volley group, I would invite you. I'm going to drop that into the comments here. And I don't know if this actually publishes out to every single person in the whole world. So I will upload this to all media links here. But let's see, copy. I'm going to drop that into here. You definitely want to be a part of the Volley group. This is where I'm going to be sharing. This video will be uploaded, of course. Well, let me go and hit record. There we go. Record this computer. This video will be uploaded. Anything that I think of along the way is going to be uploaded, and I'm going to keep you dialed in on my journey because I'm not just teaching you what to do. I'm actually doing it live in front of you. And for those of you who are teachers, you know that teaching it's almost like you got to walk and chew gum at the same time. So it increases the challenge of doing things because you're doing it, but you also have to process how you narrate it. So go with me here. So my first question is why are you writing your book? And really, I hope that should lead you to a who. My question is, who do you want to serve? Who do you want to serve? And to clarify and help you with that, most people find in the world of business that they want to serve. There are certain people that they like to serve, certain people they love to help. They sell their product to, they give their service to, it's their favorite people. But usually when we look at who it is that we want to serve, it's probably you from 10 years ago or 5 years ago or 20 years ago. It's you that it's a younger version of yourself, and it's someone that you know that you could help out. All right. So I want you to think about your who. And if you don't know who your who is, I want you to just give it some thought. For those of you who are in my, if you're in the Volley group, the 2-week book writing group, again, there's only maybe a dozen of us there or less. What you're going to find is that I've got resources there. And one of the resources that is in there for you, I'm going to share it here to my screen, is something that will help you to find your ideal, is to identify and to keep your ideal client. So let's see, I'm going to, it is here. Let me share it for you. I'm going to drop the link in here as well. And you're happy to utilize this, but I'm going to do a screen share first off. And so here are the questions. I'm going to give you the questions, and then I will give you my answers. So the tools, by the way, that we'll be using today, we're going to be using Chat GPT, and we're going to be using a tool called Otter.ai. I like to use something called Evernote, but you don't need to use Evernote if you don't want to. And so these are the three tools. And so if you want to know who it is or how it is you can serve your person, really we needed to identify them. And when we feed this information into artificial intelligence is going to help you to keep your message on point for these people. So let's start out with demographic information. So your person that you love to help, right? What age are they? What gender are they? Where do they live at? What jobs do they hold? What's their income, right? We need to know these things, and it's okay to be discriminatory. It doesn't mean that no one else will read this or need this, but it's like we really need to have an identity, because if we try to serve everyone, we end up serving no one. All right. Pain points. What are the pains they're going through, right? On a daily basis in their personal and professional life. So it might be work-life balance. It might be difficulty achieving goals, lack of motivation, financial stress. Write those in for yours. And so what I did was, and I'll show you in a moment, you can actually just delete this and you can write your own in. So again, access to this, I'm dropping this document, and I should probably label it. I'll drop this document into the chat here. And I would ask, well, you can, this is called ideal client. There you go. It is now here. You want to know their values and their beliefs, or their goals and desires. What are they trying to get to? What are they trying to achieve? What are their aspirations and dreams? And knowing this, actually, these two last, the pain points and their goals and desires, really, you should hopefully find your self-help book buried somewhere within those two parts. And the reason is because a part of a mission is to deliver someone to or from something, right? And if we're going to deliver someone to or from something, we are going to that really is the purpose of what we're doing. So we need to know, like, what is it you can deliver your person to or from, right? And so there might be a ton of top problems that you handle. Maybe you provide structure. Maybe you provide, clarity. Maybe you provide leadership advice. Maybe you provide whatever it is. What are those things that you feel like that are your zones of genius? Right? We list those things out along with the pain of your person. Values and beliefs. What are the things that they love, like the connect with on a deeper level? Their hobbies and interests, behaviors and habits. Pain threshold is, right, what are they willing to suffer through to get a good outcome? Media consumption. Where are they going for their media and their brand affinities? So that's where we're going. Now I'm going to show you this. So this is a linked document. I will, I don't know if I can put it into Facebook Live. Let me drop it in there. But the, get off the share here. Well, maybe I don't know how to do this part. That's fine. I'll just come back in and pop it in here a little bit later. Let me show you an example of what mine looks like. And you can kind of see where we're going to go with this and what's going to happen. Here is mine. I call mine the jump. I love helping people make the jump. And what we're going to do, by the way, is once we have this defined, we're going to plug this into every single thing that you'll ever post. Every single thing. If you're ever going to get media ideas, if you're ever going to get any book writing ideas, if you're ever going to get anything, what we're going to do is we're going to say, hey, chat GPT or anything that's like whatever artificial intelligence we're using. I want you to help me to write something for this person that they would appreciate. And so what happens is it will keep you in the zone with that, so you don't get off base, which a lot of us beginning writers tend to do. We get off base. So I had it list mine out. Now I've done exercises like this before, but I took these questions and I answered them. Okay. And so my demographic, my ideal clients are Christian men, married, age 30 to 55 with children, who are business leaders or self-employed entrepreneurs or sales leaders or company owners responsible for business development. Sometimes they must sell high-profile clients. Other times they're responsible for finding, recruiting, hiring, training, and coaching new company talent. They are self-employed or successful new managers. My ideal client is making a shift in his business from the place of overworking and doing it on his own. He is shifting, I don't know what that means, Atino, or into, that's what it's supposed to mean, into a place that relies on others to help him do the work. They want to do more meaningful work. Pain points. Oftentimes they're going from a model of work that included long hours, AKA the grind. They have outworked everyone to get to where they are, and now they don't feel connected to their team or their mission. They feel alone. They often feel guilt about how much time they spend with their families. They feel like they need to be doing something more for their marriage, which is good, but not great. I should clarify that their marriage is good, but it's not a great marriage. They're having difficulty gaining work-life balance. They feel stressed often. They can't get their minds off work. They're having difficulty being present with their loved ones. They don't feel like they can work any harder, and they might be approaching burnout. They can get caught up in non-optimal activities. Their problems are that they are often busy doing too much. They are off schedule and unclear on their goals and activities. They believe there is more, but feel stuck. Probably would say they feel like they're doing it all alone. Okay. Goals and desires. So I could go through all of this. All I did was I answered all of these questions, but it's interesting. You can even go all the way down here to where I really like this idea of like, well, what's their media consumption? Well, my ideal client reads nonfiction books and listens to Audible audiobooks. They listen to podcasts and watch TED Talks on YouTube frequently. They often watch motivational videos with Seth Godin, James Clear, about time management, TED Talks, Tim Ferriss, Gary Vee, and entrepreneurship. Brand affinities, products they often use are Apple, Audible, Mac, Remarkable, the Ridge Wallet, Trek Bike, LinkedIn, Peloton bikes, right? So those are some of the brands that I realize that my people are. So there we go. We have our who. And now my question is this, is we need to know, like, what are your top offerings that you could write for them? And so a lot of today is going to be about getting this stuff kind of set up to get it rolling. And the more we plan, right, the better we're going to be able to execute as we go on here. So I am going to simply, this is kind of fun. Watch this. I'm going to use ChatGPT. So this is really the first time where I'm doing this. Now, I did put my services in here as well. And there's something in here that I pasted here because this is an important phrase. So this little phrase right here, I want you to act. I want you to act as, rather. That's an important one that we want to be feeding into ChatGPT, because that's like, it's the frame of reference for it to begin. Okay. Act as a business advisor, consultant, and media company, and help me build messaging that will appeal to my target audience. First, I want to start by telling you my service and beliefs. Next, I will tell you who my ideal client is, and then I will ask you for help. So that's, I'm literally telling it instructions just like I would a robot or a human. I'm a productivity coach. I help professional men to make more money and live better lives by helping them live more from purpose. I help them to create processes from their purpose through coaching. I believe that we can help people live better lives by helping them to stay consistent to their identities and personalities as defined by the Jungian archetypes, understand their vision, what they want, take proper account of the assets, create systems and process and strategies, and find small repeatable action that's tied to their identity, vision, and assets. Then I go in it. So I just shared that to say that I like to put in like what it is that I do, so you also can do that. So all I'm doing now is I'm copying all of this, and I'm about to put it into OpenAI. Now you'll see that looks like someone double booked me. Sorry about that. You'll see that in here we've got this is on the left hand side of OpenAI. So it's Chat GPT. I actually would tell you to get a professional account. I don't know how much it costs, like 40 or 50 bucks or something. I don't know. Because it gets busy and they give you prioritization to be able to use. I'm just going to do a new chat, and I'm going to come down here and I'm just going to paste, right? I'm going to paste everything I just now typed. Okay. And it's going to start telling me, it's going to start giving me strategies to do. So right now, I'm just going to tell it to stop generating, because now I need to, I'm just going to ask it, maybe I don't know ideas. I do have an idea of the book I want to write, but if you didn't, you could say, I just said, I just asked the question, what are some ideas on books I could write for this audience from my zone of genius? And there you go. And I like, actually, the first one. I probably would just say a purpose-driven productivity might be it. The art of work-life balance. Design your life for success. Journey of Christian business leaders. Living your vision, or living from your vision. From overwhelm to clarity. Okay. So all of these are actually really, really strong titles. And so you can do this. If you don't like that, you can just say, give me more. And maybe if maybe you wanted to appeal to a broader audience, and maybe you don't want Christian in the title, or whatever. But this is being very specific towards the people I said. But I could just say, give me more titles. And you just keep going until you find something that you like. So that's kind of cool, right? We've got these things happening now as ChatGPT does its deal. My question is to you again. I want you to go back to that place where you're like, you know what? These are my people. Here's the mission. I would love to help these people to either to know this thing or to be able to do that thing. Like, what is that? I call that your mission. And I consider that. Also consider your zones of genius. Like, what are some of those areas where you've been able to help and you know the way? You know the way over, under, around, and through. You know the way. Okay. And so that those are things that you might want to write. So I'm gonna do a screen share. I'll give you an idea of I'm just gonna do some brainstorming. So for me, it might be recruiting. It might be growth from purpose. It might be, what might it be? It might be, well, I mean, I can look back at some of those things. Oh, what are the things I do? It's funny, when the camera's on, you kind of forget some of these things, don't you? Or I do, anyway. Let's see. I'll go back here. Leading from purpose. Well, I do have a couple of outlines that I had written in the past. One of those is, let's see, leading. Yeah, say leading from purpose. So whiteboard, growth from purpose. Okay. So get those top ideas down, and really you just want to kind of get those out of your head and say, what is the thing that I feel the most inspired about right now? What is the thing that I can offer the most value on right now? And actually, even more importantly than what can I just write on is like, what's the biggest need that I can answer right now? And that's what we want to aspire to. Okay. And once you did that, let's just say let's see. So I already have this one written, and now really it's like a booklet written on recruiting. And really I want to talk about like leading from, let's go instead of growth from purpose. Let's just say biz growth, business. And I'm going to delete these things. And now we're going to come down to really kind of that next step. And that is, it's the planning part. Okay. In a plan, you want to say, okay, well, if I were to get you from where you're at right now, well, who am I helping to grow from purpose? Where are they at? I really have to consider where they start. And so let's just imagine they're starting. I'm going to choose a different color. I'm going to draw them over here. They're on the other side of that. And let's just say a new leader, right? And that new leader was, maybe they were good at sales or whatever. You can see at the bottom of my screen here. And I'm getting them from here up to there. Okay. And I want you to imagine, though, we're not just doing that. I want you to imagine a river, right? There's a raging river, and you're on one side with these people. This is an ugly river. You're right here where the new leader is. And they are like, we're taking them up here. Like, I will take you from here to here, and I'll get you there safely. Well, from there, I want you to think about, like, I want you to imagine, like, hey, here are the pebbles that these people are going to have to get on, right, to get across. And so imagine, like what are the things they're gonna have to walk on to get from here to there? Maybe there are a top number of ideas, right, to get from here to there. And so the idea is that we're going from here to here. Oopsie. Right, and then to here, and then to there, and there, and there, right? You get the idea. So if I were to say to get someone from being a new leader to someone who's growth from purpose, I probably would say, like, just from business, I'm probably going to say business. I'm going to call these ideas. So I'm going to do a new page because it's going to be ugly if I keep it here. And so this is like reverse engineering. It's almost like we're walking backwards from this, or whichever way. So in the beginning, I'm probably just going to put out my ideas and say, what's first and second and third and fourth. But right now, I'm just going to put out some ideas. I definitely want something that I call the anthem. Now, you don't know what that is, but I do. I definitely want something called, I want to talk about meetings for sure, like awesome meetings. I want people to know how to coach their people. I want them to be able to inspire action. Let's see. I want them to be able to create culture. I want them to be able to, excuse me. Let's see. I don't know, like, what do they want? Like, what do they want to see every day? Okay. I want to help them to let's see, delegate and train. Maybe training might be a part of it. Maybe hiring might be a part of it, right? There's all of these ideas. And I just spilled open water all over my belly. Hooray! But the idea is that you want to come up with all of your potential ideas, and get them all in a row. Now, here's what you could do, and I want you to understand, like as we're talking about using AI, please be very careful. Like, don't abuse it. Almost everyone out there is just going to have artificial intelligence write a book for them. Don't do that, man. There's too much clutter that's out there already. We don't need any more word soup. We need someone who is going to share novel ideas that are going to help people. And that's the whole goal here, right? Is that you get out of your way so that you can help others. All right. So let's go in. And if you don't know, though, like I will say, like, anytime you're like, geez, I don't know. Well, go in and say, well, okay, Chat GPT, you help me out here. So let's just say I liked the productivity blueprint, optimize your time, talent, resources for maximum impact. All right. So so let's just say I like that one. Okay. Write a possible outline for, and I'm going to just drop that in here, the productivity, and you're going to ask it for an outline. Now, again, it might be something that you could have done on your own. If you can, great. Like literally, like a lot of times you can. What I like to do is I like to say, I like to use this and see if there's anything I missed. Right. And again, it's kind of funny. Like I can't necessarily see anybody that I'm helping out here, but it does feel like, I'm in front of like a million billion people, and I can't think on my feet about this stuff. So it is funny that I'm not necessarily able to just have ready access to that info. Overview, understanding your zone of genius. Okay, I kind of like the idea of zone of genius. Like as I'm looking at that, I'm like, oh, that's something I should definitely include. So I'm letting that do its thing. And as it does that, right, you're gonna have stuff in there that you like and stuff that you don't. And again, so your job is to take some of this and to go in and to to edit, because ultimately wow, it's like literally pulling stuff that I love. Like I'm looking at this. I love the Pomodoro technique. I love talking about the zone of genius. I love talking about talent management. And so like as it's doing this, the whole idea though is that you are the person that's saying yes or no to this stuff. And don't just copy the person next to you, even if he's a robot, right? So we want to get that outline. And I'm going to share with you some of the ways that I got my stuff out of me so that I could really just kind of get cranking. So my editor / writing coach had me do a lot of the same activities I just now gave to you, and maybe not as in concise of a manner. He was more saying like, hey, what's the main thing what are the main messages you have to help your people? And he did help me to hone in on what was probably the most available to me and the most desirable by them. And what are the main ideas? I'm like, okay, then you have the main ideas. And then what we did. Now, I actually created a little bit of an outline for each chapter that I felt like was going to help it to be more understood by others. And so each chapter I ever did was I introduced a concept. After I introduced the concept, I talked about what it's not. Maybe I gave a story of someone doing it wrong. Again, a lot of times it was a story from my personal life. So concept, what it's not. Then we went into a story, and then usually a story of it happening correctly. And then from there, I went into the step-by-step how to. And literally, I had a very similar outline for almost every chapter that I had. And you wouldn't know it if you went back and read it, because, like, obviously, if you followed exactly the same order every time, it would might seem like it's monotonous. But really, the idea is that I knew that I could communicate best with a story, creating a reference to exactly the concept that I was talking about, and then giving a cure, right? Helping people to hurt so bad through my stories, and then giving a cure for someone who did it wrong and discovered to do it right. And so that is the formula that we're going to be using here. And so I'll put it out there, and we will be allowing and engaging ChatGPT to do that for us. Now, ChatGPT isn't going to write stories for your life. You could ask it to make up a story about you. Don't do that. Okay. Like, let's not do that. But you can ask ChatGPT to find a story of someone someone in history that has, displayed this quality. So what you should have so far is you should know who your people are. You should know potential messages you want to communicate with them. You should have a decent, you should hone in on one of those. And now we have like the big idea. Woo, voice crack there. Big idea. And then what are the 5 to 10 big ideas, or, smaller ideas or main ideas that get you to the big idea? And then all we have to do is we have to break down each of the smaller ideas. So here's a technology that I had. Essentially back then I had a really crappy version of speech to text, and that is not the one that I'm going to recommend for you right now. I'm actually going to recommend something that can get you out of the way of you, and it is Otter.ai. They have free accounts that really give you a ton of space on there. Bear with me. I'm gonna log in here. All right, so here we are. We're in Otter.ai, and I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to do a record. And this one is going to be called okay. So now I want you to imagine that you have your book outline in front of you. The only thing you need to do now is speak into Otter.ai, and Otter.ai will record your voice and it will transcribe with about a 98% efficiency. So I'm going back to my whiteboard here, and let's just go into Anthem. Ready? So an anthem for me means something. I think you'll appreciate it in just a moment. Ready? So I'm going to go over and I'm just going to talk about the anthem. Here we go. So I'm doing this live, y'all. So it doesn't, I'm going to turn away so I don't know that, that I'm talking to you. So maybe I don't have that weird feeling here. So, all right. One of the main things that I see people do wrong in business is they build almost like a Frankenstein business. If you have ever watched or read Mary Shelley's classic book, it tells the tale of a monster created by Dr. Frankenstein, where he sewed together parts of various humans. How disgusting this sounds. Yet, this is how most people are building their business. They never made sure that all the parts fit. And as a result, instead of running, their business is lumbering like Dr. Frankenstein's lopsided beast. The best way that I have found to get everyone on the same page is with what I call a team anthem. What is an anthem? Well, I want you to picture the last time you went to a ball game. Maybe it was Little League. Maybe it was professional sports. Perhaps you tuned in for the Super Bowl. What do they do before the game begins? Everyone stands, places their hand on their heart, and they sing the national anthem. Why is that? What is it doing? What is the attempt made by the owners of the ball clubs? Well, an anthem is something that helps us all to feel united. It helps us to feel like we are together, like we believe the same things, that deep down, even though we compete on the field of battle or the field of play, deep down, we're on the same team. An anthem is something that helps people to feel connected. And just like it does for opposing teams in Little League, it can do the same thing for business owners and teams in the world of business. I want you to imagine everyone that you work with feeling united, feeling like they were together for a common cause. What would be the result of that? How much more effort would people give for something they knew they believed in? How much harder would they work if they knew you believed the same things too? That, my friend, is the power of an anthem. What we are talking about here is developing a common code, a common language, and a shared belief. An anthem is how we codify our beliefs so that we can attract others who believe the same thing and expel people who do not. It's not because others who believe different things are bad. It's only because it's easier to engage with people who are of the same persuasion. Let's talk about how to create an anthem. At its very base, an anthem is just a list of things that we believe. And by we, I mean you and the people that you want to wake up and be with every day for the rest of your working life. What is it that we believe? An anthem cannot just be what you believe, but it has to be what you and the people you love believe, the people you work with. How do we get our team to create an anthem? The easiest way to create an anthem is to have a meeting and to examine what it is that you believe together. I would start out by getting eye level with them, probably sitting down. You want it to be a level playing field. You want them to feel like they're not spectators, but also participants. Ask them questions such as, guys, I've been thinking about how much I love coming in in doing what we do. But my question to myself is the same one that I have for you. Why is it that we show up here every day? There are so many options, so why here? What is it that we believe? What do we believe about business and about how we work together? What do we believe about our clients? What do we believe makes us the best option? What do we believe our advantages are? What are the ideals that we would like to see happen in this workplace? I would ask these questions. If I had a whiteboard, I would give each person a marker and ask them to go to the board every time and write their response. At the end of asking those questions, I would assemble and homogenize the responses. I would create our company anthem. I would share it with my team. We would use it before meetings and after meetings. I would use it as a recruiting tool. I would use it as a measuring stick as to whether I should keep someone or fire them. Because ultimately, culture is sacred. And you, as a leader, are the keeper of that culture. At the heart of culture is the belief system and the things you have in common. Okay, so that was just me kind of reeling about that. What I would then do is I would go and I would copy it and I would have ChatGPT edit that. I would well, I'm going to copy the text here. Let me see if it's finished here. It is processing, and I'm going to actually, let's see if I can. Yeah, in a moment I should be able to export it. And when I can export it, I'm going to drop it directly into ChatGPT and ask it to do a little bit of editing. So if even if you did nothing else, even if you hung out for this long, this should be something that would get you rocking and rolling in your writing. Now, again, I do think it's important if you're doing a self-help book, think about the self-help outline. These are chapters. I would say chapter 1 is introducing the problem. Probably the problem and how we've approached it. Chapter 2, introduce your solution. Okay, what is it that you're proposing? You might want to share stories, case studies, or anything like that. And then each of these, I would go, big topic, right? Let's just say you had 6 big topics. I don't know. Oops, that's silly. Whoopsie. All right, so let's just say if you have those big topics, each of those big topics is going to have, I would say, one, explain the topic. Next one is going to be a story, right? You want it to be pain, or if you're like me, maybe it's funny, but you need stories. It can be personal or historical. I actually had ChatGPT look one up for me the other day as I'm prepping for this, and I wanted to find out because I love, obviously helping people to produce without the grind, and how do you and so it pulled up the story of Leonardo, and it helped. I didn't know that he was someone who took his rest seriously, so I thought that was kind of cool. So story, we're going to do, I would say, the right way, and that can use a story as well. And then really we're going to go into step by step of it. It might just be one step, but explain it. Explain. And then you're going to, I believe, have a conclusion, as well as a action item. That's just my style. I like to give people something to do to grasp that chapter. And then, of course, you'll need to bridge, right? You need to have something that says, here's the next good idea. So, and I'm going to sneeze. You have to bear with me. But we can actually follow these things, this flow here, and literally probably write. You probably could write this out in just a few days. And of course, you're going to be doing some reading. You're going to be doing, some editing and those type of things. But the goal is that you're actually you're letting ChatGPT give you ideas and go along with that. A couple of things I want you to know that you can do. I want you to say, we're going to say act as. So back to the ChatGPT scenario. Oh, let me go here to, all right, my text is done. I can export it as text. So now I have it. Text is like a notepad type of a thing. So I'm just going to copy that and I'll paste this into ChatGPT. Where are we? Here we are. Please, fix this. Fix the following. And edit it in the edit it. Let's just say I want it to sound humorous and smart. To the tone. Now you get to choose a tone of certain authors. So I'm going to say to the tone of, I know it, probably nothing after 2021, but anything before that that's famous. I'm just going to say to the tone of Mark Twain. So we'll see what happens here. Fix the following chapter. Creating your anthem. And edit it to sound to sound humorous and smart to the tone of Mark Twain. Now, I want you to understand, it remembers everything that's been telling me up here. It remembers my target audience, which is why I pasted it in here. And now it's going like this. I'm going to remove that. Whoops. Sorry. I don't know why. Whoops. I didn't mean to leave that. Okay. Mark Twain's panache. That's funny. Ahoy there, friends. It's time to talk about the anthem writing and how it could help you optimize your time, talent, resources. Now, let's not beat around the bush. Many a business today is built like Frankenstein's monster, stitched together from disparate parts, never quite sure if it all fits. And that's a shame because a united team is a productive team. So, I might even like my current writing better than this. I could always regenerate. I could ask it to do it in the voice of someone else. But knowing that you're doing it. So I want you to think of this. I want you to two things I would like for you to play with in ChatGPT is to the tone of, that's one thing. And the other one is the act as. So you can say act as a writing coach or act as a writer and write this. I should have done that here and perhaps it would have generated something a little bit different, but I think it knows kind of what I'm going at. And I could tell that this is, let's get cracking. All right, I don't like that. I would say you could regenerate and get a totally different one. I could say, let's just say, let me see if this, write it. If, as if Matthew. I don't know how you spell Matthew McConaughey. Wow, I wouldn't have guessed. I probably would have messed that one up. So I'm going to say write it like as if Matthew McConaughey. So I don't have to repaste it. I just say right. I don't like that. Write it as Matthew McConaughey when writing it. All right, all right, all right. So we're talking about creating your anthem, folks. Let me tell you, this is a powerful thing. A team anthem brings you and your crew together, unites you under a common cause, and gives you a reason to work hard and believe in what you're doing. And think about it. When you're at a football game and the national anthem starts playing, what happens? I don't know. It's funny. That's my that's my Matthew McConaughey voice. But there you go. Like, I'm just going to get you started. So that's what we're going to do today. I'm actually doing this on the daily, and I will drop in. I'm going to drop into into all of the things, the Volley link, and you can follow me along. It's a little bit, I don't know why I'm having a little bit of a challenge thinking of this stuff out loud. I showed you some, hey, here's how to. What I'll do on the Volley is I'll actually get along with myself, think, like, kind of create what I want, and then kind of give you how I did it. It's going to follow this. It's just, positioning is just going to be a tiny bit different. So there we go. Hope this helps. And definitely follow along there, and let's you can join me. You can find other stuff that we're doing together, donnietuttle.com. You're going to find things such as the quest. That's there. I've got some people going through a 12-week challenge. That's there. But my goal is just to do things like this that help my people, which is purpose-driven leaders. And I know you have something inside of you. So let's get that sucker out. It doesn't have to be perfect. And hopefully some of this helps you get out of your own way. So for now, we'll say goodbye, and we'll see you along the journey.